the same thing is true with early UFO pictures, right? The real thing is always first. And then some idiots will take a garbage can or a hubcap, throw it in the air, take a picture. Oh, there's a UFO. Yeah. But they didn't do that before the UFO. No.
Don't you think that's misinformation probably by the government? Like Doug and Dave, I think on the cover of Time magazine in 1978, don't you think that was a deliberate misinformation to misdirect people from the truth?
Yeah, very, very possible. Yeah. But, you know, we're talking about UFOs, but at least crop circles, you can go. The thing is there. It doesn't, how it appears, nobody knows to this day, right?
They fascinate me as well. And I loved Billy Meier's explanation of when a beam ship come down, the energy from the beam ship was more stronger, much more powerful than Earth's own natural energy. And it would create a circular pattern on the grass. And after the beam ship left, it would take a long time before Earth's own natural energy would then, you know, reclaim that patch and then allow the grass to regrow back. But yeah, I believe that is a, you know, UFO interaction with the crop circles, because I like the one where there's an alien face with a disc beside it, and there was a binary code within the disc saying there was still hope and everything. But that was made with what was it? I think it was made with the standing crop and not the crushed crop, the way the picture was made. We didn't do that. That was them.
You're a bad girl mentioning Billy Meier. Nobody believes in Billy Meier.
Well, I believe Billy Meier, believe what he just said. In fact, I'd like to get him on our UFO Zoom
Well, you have to hurry up, you know. He's my age.
He's your age, yeah. Well, we're sure trying to get you on, but you're on. So, you know, I believe Billy Meier's story. I did 10 hours of videos with Bruce McDonald about his book, Light of Darkness, with Robert Wiggin. Robert Wiggin went to Switzerland, lived there for months, you know, met with Billy Meier and his group, and he's saying they're authentic. And he even said that the CIA has a little encampment or base on the opposite mountainside for the purpose of spying in on Billy Meier's farm and recording everything that's going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They take him very seriously. He's the real deal, I think.
Well, they tried to kill him a few times already.
Many.
And there's stupid people who said he made these models, and you know, he only has one arm, right? The other one was ripped off in India when he was on the bus, hanging out because, you know, no air conditioning. So he had his hand out, another bus came along and ripped his arm off. So, and the camera that he used was dropped. And I have the same camera that he used, the same model, not the same camera. And so he cannot take close-up pictures with the camera because the focusing had jammed, right? He couldn't focus the lens, but for distant shots, it was good enough because depth of field will, you know, take care of it. But yeah, no, he's quite a character. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to get in touch. I think Billy Meier has a representative in America. You know, he's got an organization and someone to represent him. Maybe we should get a volunteer from the UFO meetup to get in touch. You know, I can't do everything by myself.
I have all my UFO library in the old house.
I wonder if Rolf might be interested in being a fellow.
That's one dealing with the Billy Meier.
Light years, quite a title. Light years.
Yeah.
You think years, light years.
Yeah, light years. Right.
Would you be willing to try to contact him, Rolf? speak the same language.
Well, yeah, I suppose I could.
Brian was just suggesting that one of us might do that. And here I am thinking of a storm. Why not let Ralph do it?
Yeah, thank you, Barry. We need to get organized. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one interesting thing that he mentioned, and I don't know whether he flew to the Pleiades with a UFO. Does anybody know? Anyway, but he mentioned the name for the engine, which is a Tachron. He mentioned that name. Later on, it's mentioned in other respects. But what he said, it didn't take long. The longest part of the flight, and I forget now how long it took to fly there from here, from his place. But getting up to speed and then slowing down again took more time than the actual time they were flying.
You hear that quite often. You get up to altitude, and by the time you get up to altitude, it's time to come down again.
I guess that's something like that. Because usually, people say it's impossible. You cannot, but there are.
I guess there's that many. There's that much of an advantage to get high up because of lack of wind resistance and all that. So even though you're pushing out the power to get there, just in being there for that long is enough to justify that. Because if you were just to cruise along at a low altitude, you'd be inefficient as far as wind resistance and whatnot. That's just my idea about it.
Well, Jeff explained going to Venus in one of his previous videos. Actually, Jeff and Mitzi did say goodbye. They have to leave our Zoom right now. But in his previous video, Jeff described once they got beyond Earth orbit, he was actually given the controls on the UFO with his hands to actually fly to Venus himself. This young fellow humanoid said, "Here, you do it." But they just zipped to Venus in a very short time. It seems like just minutes. And then the other guy took the control. So it seems pretty quick.
No, we're talking about already beyond the Earth's atmosphere.
Well, I think Barry was giving us an analogy of a jet getting this, an analogous.
Well,
going to another star system. It seems to be faster than the speed of light. Even with Jeff going to Venus, it seems to be faster than the speed of light. Like it's 8 minutes to the sun from here by the speed of light.
Yeah.
Seems like he got to Venus. Well, I would have to ask Jeff. He left, but it was pretty quick.
186,000 divided into 93 million. That's a while, yeah. So, it's hard to fathom all this stuff when you think that there's other beings that might be accustomed to all this knowledge and travel and all that, who are interested in our lives. And we don't really think that much of ourselves because we know very little of what they know. And yet we're valuable enough for them to come find us and associate for us. I just wanted to say one thing, Ralph. If I'm overlapping into your time, let me know. But I remember when, what's his name? The guy that we did the video that you like so much with the planet and the gas can or the gas hose on it, where he says that planet Earth is basically a substation for...
This is John DeNugent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a UFO sighting in Oregon, McMinnville, Oregon.
And he says, he's been at it for years, but he says that what he believes is that planet Earth is a refueling station for a lot of UFOs. I don't know whether they get here interdimensionally or spacecraft or whatever it is, but we have all the right things, water, hydrogen, he says, they come down here and fuel up for that reason. So it's in their best interest to look after planet Earth. And if he's right about this, it all makes sense because it's valuable to them. They're using planet Earth as a refueling stop. And if that's the case, then they don't want us to blow it up. And the closer we get to our conflicts, and because we have the potential to do so, if it gets any closer to us annihilating each other, they must say, hey, wait a minute, we're using this place too. I don't think they use it in such disregard that it messes us up. I think they're aware, and if they come down and they abuse it like we have, that they won't have a planet Earth anymore. We're just not aware of that ourselves, and hopefully that can be passed on to us. The more involved we are with higher dimensions or whoever they might be.
Also, Barry, you know, the price of gas has dropped significantly because Saudi Arabia's relationship with Putin and Russia. So that might be another reason why the UFOs come here. But I think generally, I think the UFOs, they don't need any fuel, right? We know they have 0 point energy. They don't need fuel, but they might come here for other reasons. And there have been cases of people seeing UFOs sucking water out of lakes.
That's what I mentioned. Yeah.
Purpose. Yeah.
So that hydrogen might be used as fuel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they use. It'd have to have a stored, energy once released. If you're using it for that, it only has so much energy there, potential that you can use. But somehow they have something, I guess, that reuses the same energy all the time. Who knows? Who knows? Questions to be asked, like I have the answers to. Certainly not.
And so, Rolf, do you still have the talking stick if you want to cover anything else?
Billy Meier. 471-923-4777.
Oh. Really? Yeah.
Just no. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, is that his phone number you gave me?
It sounded plausible, so I thought I'd throw it at you.
Actually,
I got you though.
I have his address somewhere.
Oh, good. Well, you're the guy.
He
Brian Rue.
doesn't live far from where my brother, who just passed away, lives near Zurich.
Well, you'd be the most likely candidate of this group to get in touch with them.
And
before you both leave the planet.
And I was born in Schaffhausen, which is von Denneken's favorite city also.
What was it you told us? Schaffhausen is goat house? One letter off of goat house? What was that you said?
No.
Sheep house.
Oh.
Wasn't it sheep? Yeah, the literal translation you said. What?
No.
It's not.
Oh, did I tell you about the
That's
UFO?
what you told us. No, but you told us about the Sheephausen or the whatever.
Really? I told you that.
Yeah, well, what is it? What was it again?
No. Two stories. The Schaffhausen in Switzerland, where I was born, is spelled with two F's.
Yeah.
Schaff. In other words, schaffen means working, right? That's where a lot of work is happening. Well, the IWC watch is made there, and anyway. But the place I went to when I was visiting Stuttgart, when I went to see von Denneken's talk, the hotel gave me a coupon, and you could ride in a streetcar for as long as it went. Well, I went, the longest way was this town or village called Schafhausen, spelled with one F. And Schaf, that means sheep.
Yes.
But Schaff with two F's means work.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
See?
That was...
You're a teacher, bud. We listen to you.
Yeah. My memory is sharp.
Yeah, me too.
That was a very interesting UFO. And there was nobody around. That village was dead. I saw nobody, right? And I'm there in the middle of town. Well, there was a main street going through, which I later had to catch the bus to get back on the street. I happened to see this UFO. Looks like star-shaped kind of thing. Could have been a balloon, but it wasn't a balloon. But it was just rolling along, in the sky in a straight line, like a cogwheel kind of a thing. And I took several shots with a little Canon digital camera, but I could have pushed the video button, which I didn't think of at the time. You don't think of things sometimes. Just like the UFOs I saw, cigar-shaped UFO near on 6th and Clark, where the SPCA is. And they have a camera under my seat all the time. And only after I told the story to my friend, he says, 3 days later, did you take a picture of it? Only then did it occur to me, well, damn it, I had lots of time camera already all the time, filming it. Not like a digital camera that takes a few seconds to take the picture after you push the button, you know.
I think Vanessa has been into that as well. You've got a fair amount of pictures and whatnot that you've used as evidence. So I think that's pretty natural for any of us to do that.
To do what? Not take
pictures. No, to take pictures.
To take
I know,
pictures.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, that happened here in Vancouver with the cigar-shaped one. I didn't take the picture. I was so perplexed, I guess, you know, just watching this thing. And
I know your friend said to take a picture next time. Yeah, I
no,
know. He asked,
he asked me whether I took a picture. And actually, his niece took a famous UFO picture on Vancouver Island, which I have. He gave me the negative, actually.
Yeah, I see it. It's a famous UFO picture, but your picture in front of Grouse Mountain should be equally famous. Yours is actually even a bit bigger than that one.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the
It's in the intro of this video. The audience can see it in the very intro of our Vancouver UFO video. You're around second 15 is your photo of the UFO in front of Grouse Mountain in North Vancouver.
Yeah,
every time it comes up, yeah. Vancouver UFO, that's you.
I've never seen that. I guess
you were asking for royalties last time we were talking to you. Remember?
No.
Rolf, haven't you ever seen any of our 20 hours of videos? You've never seen our 20 hours of videos?
No.
You've never seen the Vancouver UFO channel on YouTube?
No.
How come?
That's your video everybody's looking at every time it comes up, but
I'm into too many bloody things. No, what I said is maybe I saw it once and I thought it would give more credence to the authenticity of the picture if it had a photographer's name on it. Not that I want a royalty, right?
I was kidding. I know.
No, but it's true, right? Because most people will say, oh, that's a helicopter or whatever, right?
Well, one issue is you can't even remember what year it was. I pinned you down to the decade, or whether it was a 2000 decade likely, but you don't even know what year you took that picture.
Don't ask me now what I had for lunch yesterday.
Yeah.
But I could look it up. Well, it was early winter, I guess, because the reason I took the picture is I stepped out on the upper veranda and took a picture of Grouse Mountain, the first snow. And then later I saw the UFO there.
You mean you actually have a record somewhere of the camera, the year, the date? Is there a date somewhere when it was taken?
Well, if I use the digital camera, then I would, yeah. Yeah, I could probably find that out.
Hey guys.
Yeah, could you find the date and let us know? Because it should be associated with that. It's a very important photo in Canadian UFO history. I think it's very important. When you first showed me that, I was astounded at our meeting a year ago.
And it's funny, just like with the bloody crop circle I was in, I'm not convinced. And I guess it is because I don't recall seeing it. But of course, as I mentioned to you, that the reason may be that I didn't see it, because what you're getting is really a blow up, right? The actual photo, in the actual photograph, that UFO would be a lot smaller.
Oh, you've never given me the actual photograph. You gave me the blow up. If you can give me the actual photograph, that's important for ufology to have the actual photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do that. You should email it to me, because I put it on my Facebook so it would go public, Credited to Rolf Epper.
Oh, well, yeah, well, anyway. It's such
Vanessa, did you want to join in? Because it's been a while.
Well, we still have Steve. In fact, John was waiting to come on during this talk. He just left, but there's still another Steve we haven't heard from. All right, do you want to turn on your mic, Steve, and talk? Are you going to join us? He's got his camera off right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, do you want to turn on your camera on the bottom left where it says stop video?
I'm pretty shy.
Okay, sure. So give us your story, Steve. The talking stick is yours.
Well, thanks for having me. I find the stories fascinating. I like looking at your YouTube videos. Yeah, they were really interesting to see how much you can have captured, actually put on the YouTube from sources all over. Um, but I have an interesting experience. It actually happened just when last Sunday, and I'm not sure what I saw, but there was no UFO, nothing flying or lights or anything like that. Instead, I had an interesting circumstance happen to me. Mm, I was actually, because this talk was going to go on and I have to meet a friend for lunch. So I actually kind of typed it out. I was just going to put it on the Zoom chat and then take off. But I'll just read what I have here. So you can hear me well, Brian? And yeah. Okay, so last Sunday while I was working, I had a customer have an injury where this person asked for a Band-Aid for a small injury that occurred on their shin. I replied, I could do this for them. I can apply the Band-Aid. They said, no, they could do it themselves. I said, well, I insisted because I was bored, had something to justify me actually being paid to sit there and do my job. And, it was kind of like a chuckle. So I went over and looked at the person's leg and noticed the injury. It was it was like a square shaped from 1 centimeter, just under 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So it seemed like, I guess the person had gashed their leg on some metal part or something. And so the strangest thing though, and I immediately noticed that where that skin had been removed, it was actually gray. I thought, what? So I paused for a moment. I wasn't sure what I was looking at. And then the person asked me, because I was pausing, staring at this thing, oh, what's that? And I said, well, I'm not sure. I think it's a scab. But I thought to myself, there's no way that the scab would appear like somewhere where she had broken the skin. So then I said, oh, well, did you have a scab before? He goes, no, it just happened right now. And this is in the presence of other people around. So what had happened, it seemed like the kind of something what happens when you gash your leg on something and then you have the top layer scrape off. So what was underneath, I've never seen before in my life or anything like that in an injury, was just gray. There was blood around the square, almost like if you guys ever watched the Terminator series, you have the robot and then he's got this actual organic skin on top. So you rip off the skin, you actually see the metallic machine underneath. It was like that. So I dared not.
You said you saw red blood, right?
The red was around it, kind of like when if you were to take an apple, you sort of slice off the red peel and then you see the apple around, but then inside you see the apple. Yeah, and I thought, well, maybe this is normal. We have gray skin underneath.
But you're saying it was blood? You saw liquid red blood?
Little bit of red blood around it, but the gray part wasn't scraped. So yeah. It's like it's almost revealing a gray skin underneath. So, but
what was the texture? Was it like Terminator? Was it
no,
like
it was
gray
like
texture?
It was like what you would see in like I don't know, are lizards gray? I don't know.
Maybe a gray alien. How about a gray alien like that?
I have no idea because I've never met one before.
But so, haven't you seen literature and pictures of gray aliens?
I guess just on like TV or something.
Yeah, what was it? Just like a gray alien?
Yeah, type? Yeah. It was kind of like if you were to, let's say, look at a napkin that was gray, like the Starbucks napkins that are brown. Try and imagine it gray, so it had that texture look, and that part wasn't pierced. It was just the top layer was removed, but the gray wasn't pierced or anything because it was like a scrape. So I didn't want to look up at the person because I didn't want to seem like I was too shocked. I just wanted to put it away. And I said, oh, don't worry. I'm sure it's nothing. So I took this antiseptic and I said, well, it's got a little sting, might have a bit of a sting. So I sprayed. Person said, oh yeah, it's sting, but it's fine. And I just covered it and left. And that was it. So yeah, I've seen all sorts of injuries and this and that. And I'm not a paramedic, but just first aid help and that sort of thing at work. And over the years, of course, everybody's had injuries in their lives, you know. And you see what's underneath there. And I've never seen gray like this before. It was almost like they had this gray thing underneath and the skin on top was actually like a mask or something, like an outfit. You wear a human outfit or whatever that is. And underneath.
So where did this happen?
Well, it happened in a gym.
No, what city?
In the Lower Mainland. Let's leave it there.
You're talking about Vancouver, Canada area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have people here across the United States and England, so we don't even know where you live, right?
Oh yeah. It's Lower Mainland. Yeah. So This is the funny thing. It's just, you know, part of me didn't want to look up because I didn't want the person to look me in the eye, and I look at the eye and it just seemed, you know, you what I'm looking at does not look human.
But describe the person for us and their age.
Okay, well, I'd say that much. Mid-20s. It was a young woman. She was very attractive, hair in like braids, and she had a British accent. So early 20s, I guess. Let's say 22, 25, maybe 20, early 20s, mid-20s. But definitely British sounding. Yeah.
What was she wearing? Because one hallmark of a lot of these experiences, they're very attractive, men and women, very good looking. There's cases of that. Are they people, aliens that take on human form, or perhaps they're actually humans with an alien relationship?
Yeah, no, she was not shy. She was not overbearing. She's very charismatic, charming. She was not afraid to speak to me, or maybe not afraid to. Well, usually when I have people that say, oh, I've got an injury, they're almost kind of shy, like, oh, I'm really sorry, apologetic, I have this injury. And you could hear the demeanor, the sound of their voice, or they didn't really want to get bothered. But this person was like, it was nothing to this person. I said, oh, I've got this injury, blah, blah, blah. And you have a Band-Aid sort of thing. And I just from the overall experience, it was just different. I've known not too many British women in my life, but they tend to be quite strong character. So this fell in line with her accent, and yeah. But just
So do you think she was deliberately saying, hey, look at this, I got gray skin, I'm an alien? You think this was deliberately set up for this purpose?
No, I think more it was like when I saw this gray skin, I paused. That's when I guess this person didn't notice that it was gray. There was a long enough pause for them to say, what is that? Or almost like, how would you say? Like if they had known it was gray skin, I don't think they would have covered up. They just would have insisted on having the Band-Aid themselves. But I think this person didn't expect to see that as much as I didn't expect to see that.
You mean she didn't know that she had gray underneath that? She herself didn't know?
I don't know if she knew or not, but I don't think she expected to see that. She wasn't surprised though. It wasn't, she goes, oh my God, this is great. No, it was like, oh, okay. What's almost like when I start noticing, had I said, oh, this is great, what is this? Then she would have started to come in and say, well, oh yeah, good question. That's
so maybe she made a mistake and she was just trying to act normal. Like, maybe.
Yeah, I think that was more likely. Something happened. She tried to go along with it, and that was it. Which is why I didn't want to look up at her.
Wow.
I think it almost would have been like You know that feeling when you look at the person, they look at you, and it's the gig's up, you know?
Yeah, I can understand your hesitation, Steve. So maybe you handle it very well, eh?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, there you go, covered up. Yeah.
So she
just
didn't give her name. I guess you don't want to say the actual location of the show right now.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, because you work there, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and this person is not part of this gym, so this person I could see where the membership comes, and it's from not of this area. So this
You mean she's not of this world? Woo!
well, that's the thing, is like you can see when people are members of this gym or they come from another gym. This were not around here. So, and they were there actually training someone else, a second female, a smaller one, looking like she was local. But yeah, and I remember hearing, I think it was Al something or other on your show. He mentioned,
that's Al Matthews last month.
yeah, he had two women with him. The one who was on top of him, and the second one was with him, kind of more passive but looked local. Similar thing. This one was British. She was the more stronger woman. She was the one kind of training the other one, and the other one was local, passive. And that came to mind when I saw it. Like, wow.
So you're saying the alien British woman was training someone there?
Yeah.
So what was she doing training someone there?
Like a personal trainer sort of thing.
Was she employed there?
No, she wasn't. So you can go, like anybody can go to gym with their friend, and they say, well, if you have more knowledge about them, about certain exercises, you could say, oh, try this, because the other person is completely new to exercise, and maybe you're not. So you bring them in, and you can start to do stuff.
So did they both pay their money to come into the gym?
No, well, like I said, it's a membership.
So she's a member?
Yeah, of one of the gyms. I'm not sure, it's not.
So this alien lady is a member. She comes in with a friend of hers. So can you describe her friend?
Not really, because I didn't really look at them, because the other one was just small, just normal looking. But the British one seemed a little more, well, she's more attractive. I don't want to start to describe her physically, but it just, she stands out.
You should describe her physically as much as possible. Like, was she well built?
No, she was more, like a very nice shape. And maybe Rolf will start laughing. She got a very nice rump. Shapely. She was like very attractive, fit. Yeah, she had energy.
What were her clothes? What were her clothes like?
Well, she had shorts, tight shorts, tight top. Like she was like what you would see like in a magazine, someone doing exercises, attractive body, designer clothes, that sort of thing.
Well, what colors was she wearing then, the shorts and the top?
I don't remember the colors of the shorts or anything, but other than it was just shorts, and they were designed.
She had funny mannerisms, like strange mannerisms. As humans, we got habits and ways that we don't think about. We just naturally do stuff and act a certain way, because I've seen walk-ins and they try to mimic being human, only they mess up and they stand out because they look different by the way they are. Was she like that at all?
Not really. So the thing is, there's mostly men in the gym, and I think out of the 20 men, there were probably only 3 females, 4. 2 of them who would work with me, and the other two were these 2 girls that were there, sort of thing. So they stood out, but other than that, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. All I know that she had kind of was the personal trainer, or showing the local looking one what to do. Like, okay, try jumping on this and do this and this and that. And which is not uncommon. People come in with their spouses, their partners, their friends. They say, okay, well, because they have more experience than the other person, they come in to show them, how to do a certain move, a repetition of some sort. So that's not out of the ordinary.
So how long did you observe her in there?
Well, as long as they were there, because my job is to keep an eye on everyone.
How long was she there?
Um, she couldn't have been more than 75 minutes.
So that's normal, right?
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary.
So the lady she was training, was the lady young?
Yeah, she was just as young, maybe a little bit younger, smaller, not so shapely, just, I would say, if you could say underdeveloped or not as developed as this woman, like shapely with, you know, really attractive looking body, sort of really.
So were they both white Caucasian?
Well, that's the thing. The local one looked white. I don't really remember exactly what else other than she was white. But
And the British one was white. She's British,
the
right?
one that I tended to, I think she was white, or she may have been maybe mulatto. So maybe some African origin, slight, only because the hair was in a braid. And sometimes I know with, when Black people or Africans, they want to not have it like a big fuzz or anything like that. So they braid, straighten their hair, sort of thing. So the hair had a certain distinct strength to it. The hair was strong, which is the one thing I was actually looking at, because I was trying to figure that out before this even happened. Because like they're the only two girls there. You're like, okay, this person's not part of the gym, and just curious who this person is. And then I look at, you see the body shape. I say, okay, that's this and that, like not in a sexual manner, just to kind of determine where this person's from.
So you never met her before, but she must have had a paid membership to be there, right?
That's correct.
So did you check on the computer how long has she been a member?
No, I didn't, because I don't really look at that.
But is it possible for you to go back and find that out?
Probably, yeah.
So does that mean you know her name? The name?
Yeah, I do know her name.
Well, I guess you don't want to say it on the air, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
do you want to investigate that for the Vancouver UFO meetup?
No, probably because it's probably not appropriate for me to do that, right? Because I don't want to get fired, and just against my own.
Oh, is that against the policies to find out?
Well, yeah, because I'd be looking for personal reasons, not professional.
It's for science and ufology.
Yeah, sure.
But you think the other one with her was a normal human being? Is that your conclusion?
You know what? I don't know. All I know is that the other one didn't stand out. And the only reason that this one stood out is because she had been training the other one. And then the injury, the gray parts of the skin underneath the skin I've never seen that in my life. And I've seen many injuries. So.
Well, about 10 years ago at a UFO meetup, we had a Christmas party with about 25 of us. We saw two white Nordics, which we suspect were not human beings. So these things, it is certainly believed within the field of ufology that there are non-humans walking amongst us all over the place. That is the current view.
Yeah, well, this person had been there one other time, and I've been working at that particular gym maybe for 2 months, something like that, a month and a half, 2 months. So it's been just twice, and so I'm gonna pay attention, obviously, if this person's there tomorrow.
So she was there once before. How long ago was that?
That was maybe about a week or two before that as well.
So when was this time? When did you last see her then?
Well, like I said, last Sunday.
So today is Saturday.
Yeah.
January the 9th today? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yesterday was Elvis's birthday. So this was like January the 3rd you saw her.
Yeah, whatever that last Sunday was. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, who knows? Maybe she'll be there tomorrow.
Let us know. Woo!
But yeah, I'm not saying this person's an alien or not, but it's very strange. Unless there's somebody in this group who's a medical practitioner to say underneath the skin, it's not uncommon to find it gray. Okay, well, maybe that's just what I saw. I don't know.
Well, you said it was on the leg. Was it on the shin?
It's on the shin, but like on the maybe just to the right of the shin, to the outer part. So it's more meaty, right? It's not on the. It was not on the bone or close to.
Is it the right or the left leg?
Right leg.
Ah.
So I thought, oh, that's, I don't know. Maybe we have an epidermal layer that's gray, and that's normal for some people, or
I don't think so.
I have no idea. It's just, yeah, I saw that. This person, we both paused, and then she said, "Oh, what is that?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Is that a scab?" She goes, "Oh," I said, "You have an injury before? Is that what this is?" She goes, "No, it just happened right now." And I thought, okay, well, I said, "I have no idea what that is, but let's just put some spray on it and cover it, and that's it." And that's all I did. And I just didn't even want to look at her because I didn't want, thinking, what the hell? This is not normal. So
yeah, that's shocking, isn't it?
yeah, it was.
Can you describe your emotional experience any more about how you felt at that moment?
Well, after I left, I was thinking, what the hell was that? Like that, like you're kind of shocked, but you don't want to look shocked, I guess, because I don't know. I don't want to cause a scene or what's going to happen right after that. Just, okay, let's go. Okay, you look fine. Bye. So quite interesting. It turns out I just patched an alien and took off.
Yeah, gee.
But anyway, I have to run.
Well, thank you, Steve. Let's stay in touch, and we're have a regular meeting. So come and join us again, eh?
Okay, yeah, thank
You
you.
have an interest in ufology? How did you find us on Meetup?
Well, I was there before.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been to the Britannia. I remember meeting Rolf.
oh, you've been to our meeting, so I met you in person.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep your looks secret.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Steve.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Rolf.
Bye.
Bye, Rolf.
We started with 12 today, down to 3. So it's been 3 hours. This has been good. I mean, it's for talking stick without a guest or a topic, we're doing pretty good. I think it's been a good video so far.
Yeah. Well,
It's interesting. Sorry, Rolf, go ahead.
No, I just say I have to go to. My wife wants to. She said my lunch is getting cold.
Okay, well, we're on next Sunday at 6 p.m. Jeff is giving his talk. It's next, I think, video number 7 with PowerPoint presentation. You want to join us for that?
Sure.
Thanks for your testimony, Rolf. We're doing you a bit at a time so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. All the best.
Okay.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
You too, bye. Yeah.
So I guess we can
Wrap it up.
Go. Well, we can go around the talking stick again. So I started. So I'll start the talking stick again, like a soliloquy with Barry.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, one thing on my mind is getting organized as a UFO meetup group. We're making videos, and we're getting more people. Like last week with Chris, we had 20 people on. So I think we should, as a meetup group, get more organized. I mean, you bring in more volunteers. Like you're doing endless hours of work, Barry, editing videos. We could get. I talked to Zach about it. He said, "Yeah, let's talk about it." I mean, we get new people coming in other countries as well. We could get more. I think fundamentally we should get more organized, get more volunteers, and get volunteers to organize volunteers, so we can snowball and build a bit more of a UFO organization. Because like what Grant Cameron has in Winnipeg with the Winnipeg UFO meetup is a much bigger scene. Like Grant Cameron's been on doing this since 1975 ufology, and then there's like New York City has a Richard Dolan meetup group. So there are these other groups out there, but with the internet and Zoom, it's really a global. You could call this like the Planet Earth UFO meetup. This isn't necessarily about Vancouver. So we can bring in people anywhere who've got volunteer time. We can do all kinds of stuff without any money at all or very little budget at all. So that's kind of on my mind. I think the next step more fundamentally is to get organized, maybe write out a written plan of action. What do we want to do? And talk with Mimi as well. Like what's our future? How do we want to plan it out? Like right now we're having my weekly maybe, and there's always new people popping up. So this is something really good. I'm interested in this direction. Obviously, obviously there's a lot of interest. If you Google the word UFO, you get 220 million hits on Google, and half the population believes this is a real phenomenon. So there's no end of people interested in this. So I think it's good to get ourselves organized and bring in more volunteers and sort of perhaps work out what direction are we going, or do we have a direction? Or yes, that's what's on my mind.